There are occasions when we are permanently changed by something we see on television. Happy ones, amusing ones, and every once in a while, deeply poignant scenes that bring tears to the eyes of an entire nation. The shocking nature of Kelly's last minutes on air shocked fans, co-stars, and even Kelly herself. She became like family to us and shared in all of our joys and sorrows for almost 20 years. But the farewell that took place as the lights went down was really remarkable. Find out what happened on Kelly's last day on the air. A departure that made you realize how important time, memories, and love are. Come along as we go over what happened that morning, which will have an emotional effect on you and make you think about the farewells you've spoken in the past. We can prepare for that last morning by reviewing Kelly's accomplishments. No one could have foreseen that she would become the show's beating heart when she made her debut in 2001. Millions of Americans found a friend in her sharp humor, candor, and ability to laugh at herself every morning. She was no famous person from far away. Not only was she a friend, but she was also a sister, a neighbor, and a colleague. We started to think of her voice as an integral part of our morning routine. Just like the aroma of freshly brewed coffee or the first rays of sunlight streaming through the kitchen blinds. Nevertheless, on her final day, that voice faltered. The moment the shutter clicked, everything changed. While Kelly's smile was as radiant as ever, a different story was communicated by her eyes. She clung a little more closely for an extra second. She took hold of the hand of her co-host. Even the studio audience could feel it. Such a broadcast had never before taken place. On stage, the crew, her extended family, remained still. Many of them had very likely been there while she raised her children and had seen the highs and lows of her own life. Like everyone else, they were preparing to part ways as well. But what Kelly herself said caught everyone off guard. The influence of Kelly's closing remarks on her audience lasted for decades. Her voice quivered as she expressed her gratitude to her viewers, not for seeing, but for being a part of her journey. She recounted mornings when she was overcome with fatigue, pain, and even sadness. She admitted with a heavy heart that the connection she had with her audience had been the only thing that kept her going with the show. In the company of others, she found comfort in laughter, and the palpable declaration of love with each round of applause was a source of strength for her. Kelly replied, her voice trailing off as she hoped she had been an integral part of your lives as you had been to hers. Her subsequent acts shocked the audience even more, adding to the intensity of her emotional performance. In an unexpected turn of events, Kelly requested Mark and their children to come on stage with her. This was not an overly dramatic or planned farewell. It was raw, authentic, and moving beyond words. His own eyes gleamed with emotion as the grown-up children embraced their mother. Mark, her husband, stood by her side, remaining silent. For millions of viewers, Kelly was more than just a host. She was also a wife and mother as she said goodbye to a chapter of her life, communicating with Mark with a low voice. Almost nothing of what she said was caught up by the microphones. Everyone contributed. Everyone got up to celebrate. And it turned out that a lot of the studio audience had been admirers for decades. Additional individuals clutched tissues. A voice suddenly yelled out, "Don't go, Kelly." For them, this was more than just the final act. Nearby, an arrow was aiming at her. It seems like every morning something was ripped out of their lives. Social media was inundated with messages. "You were always there for my family. From this point forward, each morning will be unique." A flood of online memorials ensued. Proof of this is the profound impact Kelly's departure had on the American people. Nevertheless, the parting of ways was far from over. Kelly was in for one more surprise. Kelly achieved an outstanding feat. She said nothing about the show's conclusion as the credits rolled. She mentioned fresh starts. As this chapter drew to a conclusion, she reassured her audience that life is constantly evolving. Transition is nothing to be afraid of. She sees it as evidence that you're still here, developing, and evolving. She wasn't just speaking to her loyal fans. She was speaking to everyone in the room. This is for any soul who has ever pondered the question of continuation in the face of change, loss, or farewell. Thanks to Kelly, we may see the end of an age as a gateway to a new light, rather than a void. Tears streamed down her face as she made her last exit from the stage. After her performance, the ovation died down and the stage was empty for the first time in 23 years. The recording stopped. Nevertheless, within that silence remained a profound enigma. Not missing, but being there. A mix of emotions, including love, joy, and despair, remained. Kelly Ripa may be gone, but her legacy will live on in all the people whose lives she touched. Everyone was taken aback by Kelly's final moments on air, not because she departed, but because her example of embracing every moment was an inspiration to us. To love without condition, to find humor in the face of adversity, and to part ways with dignity when the time is right. Perhaps as you reflect on her leaving, you will also reflect on your own journeys, the starts and finishes of your own chapters. Kelly and our story are interdependent. The lessons of love's enduring strength and the possibility that the most painful goodbyes might lead to the most joyous beginnings become clear as the seasons change. Beloved talk show host Kelly Ripa's final minutes on live were deeply poignant as she bid farewell to her audience, closing a major chapter in her career. The day was filled with heartfelt tributes and an outpouring of love, which her co-host Ryan Searist and her millions of longtime fans all shared. With this heartfelt farewell, the much-loved morning program came to an end, and viewers could feel the resonance. As the public face of live, Kelly Ripa enchanted viewers for nearly 2 decades. After her co-host Regis Philbin retired in 2001, Kelly became a household name thanks to her genuine charisma, contagious excitement, and quick wit. Her and Regis's contributions were crucial in making live into the cultural phenomenon that it is today. Her genuine charm and talent for making people laugh while still getting to the heart of the matter won over audiences. But change is continual because that's what life demands. In the midst of her busy schedule Kelly's career has taken several turns over the years, from mother to actor to entrepreneur to, most recently, media mogul. Her success in many ventures outside of the program made her even more relatable to fans who admired her work-life balance. After all these years, Kelly could still feel the tug of a new chapter beckoning to her. The final show, which airs earlier this week, took a deeply personal turn as Kelly spoke about the immense impact live has on her life. She claims that there was more to her time on the show than simply performing for the camera. Building lasting friendships with her co-hosts and the rest of the team was another important goal. As Kelly recounted the years spent laughing, sobbing, and learning on set, a wide spectrum of emotions radiated from her. The profound connection she shared with the audience was evident. Both her professional and personal growth had been observed by them. When Ryan Searist, her co-host and a close friend of Kelly's, spoke about how Kelly had transformed his life, it was an emotional moment. Ryan made the comment, his voice shaking with emotion, that our voyage had been loaded with immense importance. You pondered how their friendship and bond evolved into something unique over time, despite their first perceptions as an unusual couple on the job. Kelly and Ryan's genuine comment showed that life was more than just a profession. Sincere feelings of love and gratitude formed the foundation of their partnership. There were many tears shed by Kelly as she finally thanked her fans for their unwavering love and support and broke down in front of them. Kelly considers the program to be more than just a job. To her, it is like a family. You've been there for me through thick and thin, and I cherish the times we've spent together. When she said her goodbyes, it was more than just leaving her work. A part of her audience had grown quite attached to her, so this was also a goodbye to that. As the cameras rolled, Kelly, who had lived on the site for nearly 20 years, sneaked a peek. As Kelly took it all in, she momentarily felt her smile droop. The bright lights of the studio, the enthusiastic crowd, and the familiar stage, all of which appeared to contain a wealth of memories. The emotional departure was more than just a farewell. The event honored Kelly's life and everything that she had achieved. The stage was a party where everyone celebrated the friendships, laughter, hard work, and vulnerable moments that took place there. Liv will never be the same without Kelly, but viewers will always remember her as a beloved midday host. The closing credits at the end of the program made it clear that this wasn't just a farewell. A beautiful part of an incredible adventure came to a close. Many of Kelly's fans reached out to her on social media to share their gratitude, affection, and encouragement. The abundantly favorable reaction proved her significant impact on their lives. Kelly Ripa's tenure on Live has come to an end, but her admirers will never let her go. The event was filled with love, admiration, and deep gratitude for a life's work that touched countless lives. Even though Kelly is leaving daytime television behind, the wonderful journey she had and the effect she made will live on in the hearts of viewers everywhere. There was a peculiar, calm aftereffect in the daytime television industry in the days after Kelly Ripa's last program. Her presence had been a comforting presence for Americans for almost 20 years, like a cup of coffee in the morning. The WABC TV studio suddenly seemed enormous. Quietness was heavier than normal behind the scenes. A host departure wasn't the only thing. Millions would watch the show to see whether the heartbeat had been transplanted and how long it took for the patient to recover. Soon after, online engagement, among tributes and hashtags expressing gratitude, for 48 hours in a row, Kelly was trending with highlight reels showcasing her most memorable performances, costume designs for Halloween, her spontaneous moments as a parent, floods of unrestrained laughter, timelines, academia who had occasionally turned away the gentler dawn light, hosts of talk shows ended up, reflections on the end of a time, in her nimble improvisational abilities.